Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beneath the Hollow Moon, where the folklore burns slow and the strange never fades. I'm your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm here with my fabulous co-host, Lorilei Potvin, and tonight we are following the trail of the Winchester Mystery House.
We are. So exciting.
Mm-hmm.
We see Kat. I know we're going to talk about it before we jump in to say hello, but we do see Kat from Paranormal Heart Podcast. She's on our network too, or their show on Tuesdays, Paranormal Heart Podcast, because she says, "Ooh, I love the spooky look."
Thank you. And we just both received fabulous Paranormal Heart mugs.
Yes.
So, Mort Ali, he is a fan of a lot of our UPRN shows here, gifted us both birthday gifts this year of the Paranormal Heart mugs. So if you are interested in getting a mug, please head over to Paranormal Heart Podcast, follow her on social media, and you'll be able to find it where you can get your mug too.
And Kat's got, because I talked to her about her all her merch and how she did it, because it's so professional looking. And I think she's coming up with a bunch of other new pieces of merch and things like that, you guys. So check it out. It's just beautiful. She's got coasters and stickers and
pens and all kinds of stuff.
Yes, my pens. I have everything downstairs. I have all the stuff with my crafting stuff and the pen. I was using it today. It's amazing.
Well, Kat, I agree. He is a kind and generous soul, and so are you.
You are too. You're amazing. Everybody's amazing here. So we were talking about topics because we usually plan ahead, and we got behind with being busy and stuff. So we sat down and we planned out the next 2 months, including Halloween. And we were talking. You said, "What about the Winchester Mystery House?" And I went, "Oh my gosh. Yes." So what drew you to it? Like, and then we can talk a little bit about that. Like, why were you drawn to it?
So I think I feel for me, it is a little bit of the romanticized version of their story, Sarah Winchester's story with her husband. Like, they knew each other as children. Like, they grew up beside each other. They knew each other. They have this love story, and they had a baby that passed tragically. And then he passes, and she was young. So this whole love story and how she mourned his passing, and then the folklore and myth attached to the house. And I don't know. I'm just very attached to that, to the story of it.
What drew me to it, believe it or not, and I found out about it back in the day when I used to watch Ghost Adventures, and they did their first investigation there. And I remembered it because, never mind, you and I both love things Victorian, but also I don't watch a lot of TV, but I love Supernatural, and the boys are called the Winchesters. So right away, that name. And then when I found out that the name, her husband's name, he's associated with the Winchester Bang Bang, we'll call it. And then you start looking into, I thought I was losing my shawl, sorry. And then, you look at all the mystique and the building and everything as I dug into it, and so much symbology. And, you just almost want to spend a day, if you could, inside of Sarah's brain to talk to her and find out, like, why the number 13, why spider webs, why the constant building, all of it.
A lot of that is the Victorian superstition too, right? So it's superstition and belief systems during that time. But the way that we have added to it over the years has built it up into more of, I feel that we have contributed to the reputation and potentially the experiences, because we all want to believe that there is hauntings actually happening there. But when you look at, a lot of it is attached to grief too, right? Her honoring her family and that Victorian time period and their superstitions.
It's that, but as far as I know it, and I don't know everything, but there's never been another house built like it either.
Mm-mm. No.
So I want to, if I could, I would love to interview her on a show and talk to her and ask her, what were your thoughts when you decided that you wanted this part built and why this? I didn't realize how tiny she was either. Now, I'm fairly tall. Before I hurt my back, I was almost 5'10", and I'm about maybe 5'8.5" now, but she was only 4'10". Just
Yeah,
a
that's the stock I come from.
That's okay. I come from that kind of stock. And same as my ex-husband, yet both of us were like, I have bigger hands and feet than my only sibling, my brother. And on top of that, I'm taller, I believe. And my boys were like six, well, both of them, 6'4", almost, big,
Mhm.
stocky, big boys. And yet my ex-husband's mom was this little tiny Japanese woman from Japan. She was also a nurse, and his dad was very tiny. He's a 5'3". His sister's 4'10". So
Mhm.
we come from small people too, even on my mom's side.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think there's parts of her story. She was uh, I hope I pronounce this philanthropic,
Yeah.
and she donated so much. Like we imagine her as grief stricken and shut in, but she did a lot for the community and within the community until she passed in donating funds and supporting the
Mhm.
community and different like the Red Cross and all kinds of stuff. After there was an earthquake, and she was contributing within the community. So she is not still
She's
alive.
not still alive. That's why I said I'd love to get inside her head, Kat, and interview her somehow, some way. I guess we could channel her, but I don't know. That wouldn't be very interesting to watch. And then I guess you just end up having to read the answers. Unless we got
Well,
EVPs.
that's a Victorian thing too, to channel all the people and write books by, through trans channeling. So we could
Mhm.
do a Victorian night of trans channeling.
You never know. You never know what you're going to see on this show. You just never know. Should we say hi to everyone?
She
Okay.
passed in 1922, Kat.
Yes. Yeah. She's been gone a long time. So I'm going to say hi on Instagram. We got Arlington67 joining. So thank you. I will be better about highlighting, hopefully. Cross your fingers, everyone, that the computer's going to behave itself. So we said hi to Kat, and she said, "Ooh, I love the spooky look." I'll highlight. You can read if that's okay.
Hello, Mish. Thank you very much. She says, good day, looking good and fun. We are in our Victorian morning.
I have to ask a question though, because I always love to lovingly tease Mish. I call her my birthday twin because her birthday's the day before mine, but she's in Australia, so it's already Friday morning over there. And I have to ask, do you have a long weekend over there? Because over here, at least in North America, I know we have something called Labor Day. It's kind of the last long weekend of the summer, right? So it'd be interesting to know. So Kat was just talking about Mort there.
Kind and generous soul, yes.
I will highlight Kat here too because she's designing some new merch because hang on, if it'll highlight, it keeps putting these little blue boxes around me. That's why I got to be right on the name. She said this that she's got coming up.
Kat, Paranormal Heart podcast. Yes, I'm getting ready for an event next year in Ottawa. You are very welcome. It is our pleasure to support one another. Hello, James Grar is here. He's saying hello, everyone. The wizard.
Yes.
Kirby's 100. Thank you very much. He says you two are looking really pretty.
Well, thank you.
Julie Dow, thank you so much for being here. Good evening, ladies. Michelle Wilfong, hello, hello, hello.
I always give Michelle a shout out because she is my mod over on TikTok. TikTok penalizes me every time and gives me a week timeout. So we're not over on TikTok, but when we are, she's my mod and she is incredible at it. She also has a TikTok channel. She lives in a haunted apartment and she documents all kinds of activity. And I believe her name on TikTok under there is My Haunted Apartment. So hang on, I'm scrolling down. Everybody's just saying hi, which is nice. We love that.
Katessa Martins, hello.
Hi. Oh, Kirby's 100.
Yes, Kirby's 100 is saying you look like the woman in black, and
Yes.
indeed we are.
Yes.
Hi, Michelle. Michelle Plummer is here.
Yes, thank you.
Kurt W75. Hey, everyone. Hope all are doing great.
Okay, I'm scrolling down, hopefully not to miss anybody.
Fiona Clark, hello. Thank you for being here. Hi, Cindy Waghorn. Hello.
Nice to have everybody here.
Sandy Kordick, hello from Prince Edward Island. She is chiming in, saying hello to everyone.
I gotta remember that because you're here, and I'm gonna put that in my brain because I think that's so cool that you're here from. We call it PEI here in Canada. It's our smallest province, and I've never been there but one day.
Sue Ross, hello. Thank you for being here.
I think we got just about everyone. Hang on, did I hit the bottom of that arrow? Let me see, just to be sure I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I missed anybody. So
Mish is just chiming into the question that you had about the long weekend, and she is saying, no, we don't.
Won't go any further, so please forgive me for missing that, Mish, but thank you for answering that. We'll check Instagram again. Yeah, just still Arlington 7 over there. So where do we start tonight? As usual, we have more than enough.
Oh, yeah. So can I start? I'll start with their marriage.
Absolutely.
And then when she began construction, and you have some facts that you can chime in with.
Absolutely. Oh, we got Julie Jean Bassett here too.
Oh, hello, Julie Jean.
Julie, I'm going to give her a shout out. Incredible animal communicator. She can help you with your pets. Both Kerrilynn and I have had her work with our own animals too. And she's also an incredible shamanic healer. She has an animal chakra course, I believe, starting in September sometime, and another beginner animal communication course. So you can check her out on juliejeanbassett.com or on whitetailshamanichealing.com. We got more people. We'll say hi quick.
Hi, Kathy. Thank you for being here. Oh, I like that profile photo. Patsy Foyster. Hello.
Hi. All right, jump in with the info.
Okay, so I love everything to do about the Winchester mansion. So I'm so glad that we're the
Me too
segment tonight, and I know that we'll come back and be able to revisit this again from a different perspective. So so Sarah Lockwood Party married William Wirt Winchester on September 30th, 1862, and I find that interesting because she passed away in September as well too. So she was married in September and died in September. William was the son of Oliver Winchester, the founder of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. The couple had known each other since childhood and were neighbors in New Haven, Connecticut. They were married in September. So then
I didn't have any of that info, so it works out beautifully. You always get the stuff I don't, and vice versa.
So Annie, their daughter Annie, was born June 15th in 1866, and she was named in honor of William's sister who had died during childbirth. And she suffered, I had never heard of this term before, but you as a nurse may know this. Marasmus?
It's an old term, a very, very old term. So I've never heard it in modern day medicine before, but it is an older term.
So malnutrition, lacking the ability to absorb nutrients from food is what they're saying.
I wonder if she had something like PKU or something to that effect, or having worked in the NICU and maternal newborn, people think that feeding a baby the natural way, that would have mammals feed their babies that way. It just doesn't always just happen so easily. There's a lot of mechanics, and it can be quite difficult. So could even have been that.
Yeah, she passed in 1922. Yeah. And the baby passed July 24th or 25th, 1866.
Oh, how heartbreaking. I can't even imagine.
No. So, and they didn't have other children. They just had her.
And
So
do you think it was because she was so grief-stricken, or do you think he just passed too soon for them to have another? Or?
well, so he passed in 81 and the baby died in 66. So 1866.
Oh,
So there was a length of time, but they just grieved so
she could have had fertility issues. You don't know. I know
yeah.
it's a more common term now, but I've seen many people who've had one baby and can't have another. Or even going back to the days of the Bible, wasn't it John the Baptist's mother that they thought she was barren and she had him at 60, I believe. So maybe she couldn't
Oh,
have another. Mm-hmm.
he passed from tuberculosis on March 7th, 1881.
Oh, wow.
So it is reported, but not confirmed in any way, that she saw a medium, and the medium so she inherited the fortune, right? And I forget, it was something like $20 million in our
Back then, like
now.
nowadays, it would have been millions or almost close to $1 billion.
And it was like 50% of the company. Like she owned and had a lot at a younger age. And so it is reported, but not confirmed, that she was told by the medium to go west because she was going to be haunted by the victims of the Winchester rifle. So all the victims of the war, the indigenous communities. So she packed up and moved, and she began the construction. It was an 8-room farmhouse to begin with in 1886. And then it was 24/7 construction until she died in 1922.
Yeah, they said 39 years, but I guess she probably hadn't hit quite that 40 mark when she passed away. 40, it was almost 40 years of constant construction. And from what I was seeing, just to add a little bit, I know you still got more, but it looked like she had full-time carpenter staff. There's pictures of them, and it was reported she treated them quite well, from what I understood too.
Yep, that's what I read. And then she gave a lot to different communities. Oh, wow. You know, in the spiritualist, I don't know, beginnings, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of charlatans at that point, and there still is.
There still is. There still is.
There still is now, but during that time, there was a lot.
But that was kind of getting into the height of because it really had, a lot of popularity as time went on in the Victorian era, especially with seances and things like that, right? So,
and there really is no confirmation that Sarah Winchester held seances in the house. Yeah. Like there really is no confirmation for any of those things, but the stories. And there is a story that she had, or there's a myth that there is a locket or a trinket box with the baby's heart or hair, but hair would be common for that time period because that's what Victorians did. They kept lockets of hair. They made
I have a lock of my son's hair, and then when he passed away, I wanted a lock of it, and I talked to his dad about it too, and his sister, the 4'10" sister, wanted a lock of his hair.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to say no. So yeah, I still have a lock of it too. So I think even my baby, both my boys, when they got their first haircut, they always had so much hair. I have that. I have their baby teeth. Maybe that's a bit morbid, but I do.
I might have a tooth somewhere. I know that I have hair from all
puppy teeth.
I have hair from all their first haircuts still. With all the kids. Hello, Sheila.
Hi, Sheila. Actually, Kat's right, because back in the day with the dolls, they used to have human hair.
Well, and there was a specific name for those. They were so intricate, and I forget what they were called. I feel bad for not having looked that up.
Everybody's adding up to some of these moms. Contessa saying I have my son's baby teeth. Kat saying I still have some of my kids' baby teeth too, so I don't feel so weird.
Oh, no, there's nothing weird about that at all.
And Sheila says, my mom kept all my baby teeth for years. I think I said it to someone once and they thought I was an absolute wackadoo. So,
Oh no. It took me forever to throw away the umbilical cord from my oldest son. I had
I've
it
heard of that. I kept my eldest son's soother in his baby because my eldest was a soother kid or binky kid, whatever you want to call it, pacifier. And I eventually, when he moved out on his own, I gave him his baby book. And I know I'm getting off track here, but very quickly when I was pregnant with him, because I was never supposed to be able to have kids. And it was just so incredible when I got what I went through and I was pregnant with him. So I had one of those books that was like a diary, but it was a book and I was writing my thoughts. My son got such a hoot out of that when he got that book too as an adult.
I'm just gonna take a Victorian
Bisque dolls, Kat's asking.
Mhm.
Were they called bisque? Because I know they were made out of China, but there was a name for them, wasn't there?
It was hair art that they did.
Hair art. Okay. Almost reminds me of architect, but hair art. Okay. Because we looked
Yeah,
up.
it's I can show you a picture. Like
Or
I
send
know
me.
they have one in the Ireland house. When we go to the Ireland house for the investigations, they have one that is actually from the Ireland family. So they have something like this,
Oh.
but without the photo. So I know that folks that are listening aren't going to be able to hear, but it's a tradition of making art from human hair, and it looks like embroidery. It's flowers, um,
Oh.
and um, and they would also.
Oh, wow. Can you imagine? Because I know how to do embroidery and cross stitch and stuff. Can you imagine? They must have had to spin the hair into a type of thread, I would think.
I don't know, but I'll make a point of taking a picture of the one at the Ireland house. I'm sure there's
Okay.
one somewhere online, but I'll show you guys after we do our investigation there in
But
September.
they did weird things to them with photos. Like that just horrified me years and years ago when I realized that some of the children and people that were in photos, the black and white photos, were deceased. Like in a family portrait, they would have them look like they were alive, but they were deceased.
Well, and everything had a meaning. Like when we start coming back to symbology and symbols that are in the house that Sarah used, it's still part of that whole Victorian time period. Every flower had a specific meaning, and spiders and spider webs. So, did you want to go into some of the did you know facts?
Sure. I'm just going to read. Kathy says, I've seen that type of work with the hair, and they are incredibly intricate and beautiful.
I agree.
But even back in the day, I've got the facts ready. I'm going to grab my glasses. But even back in the day, like when you would have a courtship or whatever, right? When they would bring you a certain color of a flower or a type of flower, there always was a meaning behind it,
Yeah.
right? Like red roses versus pink versus yellow or daisies or. Sheila says, I heard that too. I've seen pictures you can tell where you can tell they are past. Some you can't. They've done that well. Okay,
Yeah.
so some of the did you knows. So it said, I had asked about when doing my research in the search I did. I wanted to know, some of the really odd, unusual did you know kind of facts. So one of them is a spider web obsession. And it says Sarah Winchester was fascinated with spider webs, believing they held spiritual significance. She incorporated spider web designs into stained glass windows. Oh my God, I would love one of those. Can you imagine how beautiful? And chandeliers, and even a gate on the property. The most notable is a Tiffany designed window with a web pattern featuring 13 gemstones to align with her fixation on the number 13.
Well, spider webs were supposed to represent good luck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the same thing. And I like the number 13, but it's got a bad rap. A lot of people think that it's a unlucky number, right? I don't think that. Do you?
No, I don't believe that.
So she had the number 13 everywhere. and she did. So she says, or the facts are saying the number 13 appears obsessively throughout the house. 13 windows in certain rooms, 13 panels in walls. One of the videos, I don't know if I kept it, but I was looking at it. One girl was in the house and it was a bathroom that had 13, I think, on the door of the wall. And it was rumored to have 13 stairs to that bathroom. So she went all the way up them and counted them. 13 stairs with 13 panes in the windows all through the bathroom. So it says 13 windows in certain rooms, 13 panels in walls, 13 steps in many staircases, 13 sections in the spiderweb window, and even 13 hooks in the seance room for Sarah's robes. This was likely tied to her superstitious beliefs about warding off. Sorry, I've got my veil on here. Warding off or appeasing spirits. Interesting.
Contessa is sharing dream catchers remind me of spider webs. Cat, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I can't see. I'm glad you're doing that. That's what I was going to say. I can't see.
Pat from Paranormal Heart is sharing 13 used to be a lucky number and 7 was bad luck. Patsy is sharing Dead Still is a 2020 miniseries about photography of the dead in the Victorian era. Thank you for sharing that. Sandy Cordick is sharing 13 to me is lucky my youngest daughter was born on Friday the 13th.
That was my first husband's, because we had 2 boys together. That was his biggest worry, because both, my eldest 5 days of labor, and he was so worried I was going to have him on the 13th, but they actually induced me on Friday the 13th with my youngest, and he was so terrified. And I said, it doesn't matter what day he's born on, but he was so worried about that. I agree, Kat. This is a good question. So she's asking, where can we watch that show? And I believe it was what you were talking about, Dead Stills. So if you could share that, Patsy, that would be wonderful, please, in the chat. Because I'd never heard of that. Had you, that there was a documentary?
On photographing the dead in the Victorian era? No, I didn't know that.
So Michelle's saying that would take a lot of guesswork for the carpenter's questions for her. But I think it was rumored too, there were no real floor plans for the house either, was there? No,
there was not. And there was always changing. There was an earthquake. There was damage. And there's the myth to it, and then the reality of it, and
I got a few more for you. So there's one called a House Built for Spirits. Sarah reportedly designed features like a low, quote unquote, spirit stairs. There's only 2 to 3 inches high, that are only 2 to 3 inches high, to accommodate ghosts who she believes struggled with normal stairs. Some theories suggest these were for her arthritis. I know she had very bad arthritis. I would even think it was probably rheumatoid arthritis. But the spiritual explanation was part of her lore. Almost feels like it's built for fairies or something, right? They're that tiny. So Contessa's saying, for people listening, that the documentary called Dead Stills, she thinks it's on Amazon Prime still.
Oh, I'm going to look that up later.
Okay, so Banter with Richie B says, I feel underdressed. Get your veil on, Richie. And then we've got John L. Watson saying, I just heard a low voice in your live audio to me. Geez, why would we be surprised about that, Kerrilynn?
Folks, I'm going to be on Banter with Richie B September 6th. So please tune in Saturday, September 6th and hang out with us.
Well, we're glad you could pop in. Richie, Banter with Richie B saying, sorry, I'm going live on a show at 8. Can't stay long. Wanted to say hello. We're glad to have everybody. Is there another comment? I have it somewhere stashed away, I think is what he meant to type. So then we have the switchback staircase. One of the house's most famous features is a staircase with 44 steps that rises only about 9 feet with 7 switchbacks of 13 steps each. Now, just the thought into all that to create it and no house plans for it. And then
And
What?
it's like a labyrinth. It's a maze. Like you get lost inside it.
Hmm. And then it says it's so shallow because Richie B saying he's super excited. I'm thinking to have you on his show.
Me too.
So, Patsy also said Dead Still is on Acorn. I think I saw it in 2020 on Prime Video. Can't remember. So the rest of this is, so I'm going to go back a little bit. 44 steps that rises only about 9 feet with 7 switchbacks of 13 steps each. It's so shallow and winding that it's nearly impossible to climb quickly, supposedly to slow down pursuing spirits. So this is about some of her fortune, $20,000 a day in today's money. So it says Sarah's inheritance from the Winchester rifle fortune gave her a daily income of about $1,000 in the 1880s, equivalent to, they put 20,000 in the title, but it's equivalent to roughly $30,000 per day today. This allowed her to fund 38 years of nonstop construction, employing dozens of workers around the clock with no budget constraints.
Wild.
Oh, so Kat's asking, can people visit the Winchester House?
Apparently, you can sleep overnight.
And if we have time, we'll see. If not, don't believe me. We'll come back to this because we always have more than enough info.
I think we
You
should.
believe you already bought it. I bought it today.
Yeah.
It was $8.99 American, lifetime access. You can tour the whole house. Now it's not live, but it takes you through almost every room in the house, even rooms that are off limits to the public. So you can go in there and it works.
Yeah, it does 360. Like it lets you go in each room and spin around it. And that was one of the things that they've had that. I think, I don't know if they just started doing it during our lockdown times, but that's when.
And apparently, you guys, I know other people that if you dig a little bit, say you've always wanted to travel, but you don't have the budget, there are lots of places around the world where you can, and you don't have to pay for it, but you can go and say there's museums you want to check out. I hear Egypt has quite a bit of that online. I've never looked, but lots of places with a lot of historical things that maybe you might want to see. You can do it from the comfort of your home. So where is the Winchester House located? It's in California, right?
San Jose.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It's in San Jose. Because I did a deep dive when we started connecting Houdini to the mystery.
Yeah.
Because there was a report that it wasn't confirmed that he was there, but I found the research to confirm that he for sure was there, and followed up with the Ghost Adventures.
Don't worry, we're getting to that, you guys. I was going to ask you, though, I know you went through the history. So where did they grow up? Her husband and her, because that's why she went west, because of what the medium had told.
I thought. Let me double check.
I'll read another one while you're looking. So there was a room locked until 2016. After the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, Sarah was reportedly trapped in a bedroom and ordered it sealed, believing it was cursed. The room remained locked for over a century until 2016, when staff rediscovered it. Inside, they found a perfectly preserved Victorian bedroom with period furniture, adding to the house's mystique. Can you imagine?
I would love that.
I know that. Oh, Mort, were your ears burning? Because we were talking about you earlier. Thank you for the beautiful mugs from Kat. We were just saying how amazing you were at the beginning, and just have to give you a shout out. Say hi, thanks for joining us. Patsy, you also added, you can also tour towns on Google Earth. Yes, you can. Can you imagine? That would be like, I can't even imagine opening a locked door. Usually it looks so creepy, right? And you see these in some investigations. It's never been opened. A perfectly preserved Victorian bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh,
how exciting.
Oh my goodness.
So they did grow up in Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. So I have all kinds. I won't keep going through them because I know we got other stuff, but there's a few cool.
No, that's so good.
Okay, so there's a few more. I've got secret passages and trapdoors. The house contains hidden passages, some only discovered decades later, used by Sarah to move discreetly or confuse spirits. One trapdoor in the ballroom leads to a sink below, possibly for practical drainage or as a quirky design to disorient spirits. Before I go any further, this is popping in my head, and we kind of talked about this. Do you believe that you think she really was haunted, or do you think she manifested it because of such a belief in the fact that the place was haunted or she was cursed? Because that was part of what she was told, right?
She was told, well, it's reported that
Hmm.
she was told,
We
but
can't ask her.
it's not confirmed that
Yeah. Hmm.
that was the truth. And that's what I believe. Like, if you are leaning into it,
Hmm.
you're also creating it, right? Because we know where our attention and energy goes. Like, when
Activity flows.
yeah.
But she had to really have a lot of activity because you got to realize.
So
Oh, sorry.
sorry, Lorilei. Just one second. So sorry to interrupt you. Patsy, that's exactly what I was thinking too. I was thinking,
I didn't even know she was here till she went on something crunchy.
yeah, I was.
Everybody knows who this is. She's very badly behaved, and she doesn't like anybody but her mother. That is Stephen Nicole.
Yeah, so I was watching Steve and Nicole make biscuits, and I was like, "That's exactly what I was thinking in my head." Oh, look, it's
Now
make
she's got her tail. Well,
making
her
biscuits.
name is Stevie, but she likes to. My eldest son told me she's going on 7, I think, that she prefers Stephen Nicole. And she does. Oh, thank you, John. Everybody loves her. She wants to be a podcast star. She usually comes on most of my podcasts. Or when we've done Thursday nights. I didn't even know she was doing anything until I heard crunch, 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 because she's on my notebook beside me. So, and let us know too, you guys, what do you think if you're familiar with the Winchester House or from what you're hearing? Because to me, if you are building for that many years, almost 40 years, nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that's not just commitment.
Well, at some point, does it make people stay away because they think that you're a little
Cray, cray?
crazy? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it keeps people away. I don't know. I would keep building then if it was keeping people away. They'd have a little bit. Or did it draw people there? I don't know. Maybe it did the
I
opposite.
don't know. Well, for me,
Well,
I'd probably have a zoo. And
mm,
if I had a staff, because I love animals that much, and I understand not each and every one of us is the same, and she was philanthropic, as you said, but you have to really be committed. Like all these did you know facts, and again, nothing is confirmed.
does it say how many rooms there actually are? And
Uh,
like, there's pretend bathrooms and pretend rooms. So, like, actual rooms and actual bathrooms. And
I forgot to ask that because some of these facts, there's a greenhouse for the dead. It was a tourist
Mhm.
attraction almost immediately after her death. A gold and silver chandelier. This one says Sarah ordered a chandelier made of gold and silver, but when it arrived, she refused to install it because it had 12 candle holders instead of 13. She had it modified to include a 13th holder, reflecting her obsession with the number. There's a myth about the 1906 earthquake. And then it says a safe full of trinkets. But when I looked it up, all they could really confirm was possibly the baby's hair, because this is saying after Sarah's death, they did say there was a safe. They always said there was a safe. And it says the safe was found containing no money or valuables, just personal mementos like photos of her husband and daughter, a lock of baby hair, and newspaper clippings. This discovery fueled speculation that her wealth was secondary to her grief driven spiritual quest.
Yes. So, and that's where it's the grief and the spiritual belief and the superstition of that Victorian time. I think it all fueled it. Agreed. If she had neighbors, they must have been annoyed with the construction for years, for sure.
Especially as it started as a farmhouse, would you say, with 8 rooms? And then you guys can go online. We've got a few video clips I'm sure we'll have time to get to. One of them, I might have deleted it. I can pull it back up, but it shows the house from all sides, but it doesn't do it justice. Like, you have to go inside and really, really look. Oh, that's an interesting idea, Cindy. That's a really interesting idea. She said,
Cindy, maybe she kept building to never be alone too.
that's a really good idea. Actually, that would make a lot of sense. So let's see. No blueprints ever existed. Unlike most mansions of its era, the Winchester house was built without formal architectural plans. Sarah sketched designs herself, often based on nightly seances. And again, it has to be rumored because it's never. Is she still?
It is
Oh, I'm sorry.
because we are seeing that there is no real history or documentation that she did seances nightly. One of the facts that I looked up too, like if it was 30 years, right, of construction, I have my uncle has passed away now, but he did construction and like right up until like close to his passing, and he was in his like late 80s. But he had like missing parts of thumbs and digits and had fallen off roofs. Like he was just, anyway, he is my crazy Frenchman.
That's okay. We got Michael L. Steenburgen that's joined us on Instagram too. Welcome. And Mort Ali says, love the dark veil. Thank you. But part of this, so no blueprints. And again, there's no proof that she had nightly seances. But it says often based on nightly seances leading to the chaotic design layout. Some rooms were built, demolished, and rebuilt multiple times on her whim.
One of the searches that I did was to see if any of the construction workers died during construction, to see if none. There's no reports of any injuries, mishaps. I mean, I'm sure there was some type of, there has to be, because there always is going to be some kind of, but none, zero reports of any deaths during construction during that whole time.
I found a picture of the whole team, and there's a very well-known photo. I've seen it on multiple videos when I was doing research, and it's of the wheelbarrow man. And I believe the person that got the photo, I actually found the clip, and it's down in the basement. It's a dark tunnel, and it looks very much like they show a picture of all the workmen, the way he was dressed. He actually had a bow tie. I would almost think he looked like he worked in a barbershop quartet or something, the way he was dressed. But you can see him once it's lightened up a little bit. You can see him, and it's rumored that many people have seen him, Clyde the Wheelbarrow Man. He was called.
So that could be residual too, right? Are they seeing him around the same time of day, same time of week, month, moon cycle? Like that sounds more residual.
So there's a bell rung at midnight. Sarah reportedly, and again, we can't confirm this. This is just almost like the game of telephone, if you will, right? Passed down from, generation, if you will, to generation. Not her generations, but could be just myth too. Sarah reportedly had a bell tower rung every night at midnight and 2 a.m. to signal the start and end of seances or to summon spirits. The bell, still on the property, is sometimes rung during special tours, and visitors claim to feel a chill when it sounds. There was one in here. The greenhouse for the dead. Go ahead.
Deanie's visit was also a secret visit at midnight.
Who was that? Sorry?
Houdini.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting to Houdini. Hi, Bob Burnell says, good evening, ladies. So there was one. I'll read one more. A greenhouse for the dead. The estate included a massive greenhouse, now gone, where Sarah grew exotic plants. Some people say she cultivated them as offerings to spirits, as certain flowers were thought to attract or appease the dead in Victorian spiritualism. There's way more facts, you guys. We could do probably a month of shows just on this home. We're not, but So should we do our station ID and then we can jump into Houdini and some video?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Or you got more you want to add?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You want me to do the station ID?
Sure. Or do you want me to?
Doesn't matter if you got it written. If not, I'm just going off my top of my head.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you're just joining us now, you are listening to Beneath the Hollow Moon. I'm your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, here with my amazing co-host, Lorilei Potvin, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. If you are liking what you are listening to, I encourage you to like, subscribe, share, let your friends know. You can find out more about the hosts on UPRN and all of the shows that we have to offer at uprntalkradio.com. There's information about all of the new shows that are with our network. There's always new shows happening. There is something for everyone. It's not all high strangeness and paranormal. And what else was I going to share with you guys? I think I've got all that covered. I think
you do. We're always bringing new hosts, and we got Michelle DeRoche coming up next. Not only our station manager, but she has the second night of the Outer Realm in another hour or so. She's also got Beyond the Outer Realm on Tuesday afternoons, 2:30 to 4 Eastern. You have Spirit Switchboard. I know we'll talk about that probably towards the end of what you're doing. It's kind of cool. Your shows are always cool. On Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern. I have the Angel Rock on Mondays, 6 p.m. Eastern. I think that's everything. Yeah, we covered it.
We were talking about the Winchester Mystery House.
We sure are.
I would want to call it mansion. But
yeah. Mystery Mansion. Yeah, it's not just a house. It's just incredible. Because I got into the curse of the family. But what do you want to do? You want to start off with Houdini? You want to talk about him?
Do you have a photo of the house or a video of the house?
Give me a minute. I'll find it. If I don't, I might have deleted because I thought, oh, nobody's going to want to see that. But I think it would be helpful to see it. So I had so many videos. So give me a sec here.
So has anybody that is in the chat watched any of the ghosty shows that are on TV who have done investigations at the house?
Well, that would be good to hear. Yeah, I think I deleted it, but I'll find it on TikTok.
Who was it? I'm sorry. I did see that. If you're still in the chat, Cindy, was it you? There was somebody that said they had been to the house when they were 12.
Michelle Wilfong, I think, if I remember.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Had been there when they were 12 and it was creepy then.
You had a pretty cool family if they brought you there for a visit. Holy cow. I'm just going on TikTok on my computer here, guys. So give me a minute because I deleted it and I thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't have deleted it because I sent it to myself. So I will find it. I just got to go to my profile and let it load. You got all these people's messages popping up all of a sudden. Let me go to the like one. It's kind of a goofy sound to it, but it's it kind of quickly shows the front, the back, and behind. So give me a sec. Okay, where are you, house? I looked at so many videos today and clips and you name it. I think, well, this is a haunted picture, but I'd like to show what the house looks like. Not the ghost. Come on, housey house. Where are you? This might be it. Let me see if I upload it here. It's got sound on it, and I'm not going to play the music, but give me a second. I'll pull it up. Present. Bring it to the stage. No, I don't want to invite somebody. I don't know why that clicked. Give me a sec, guys. You want tiki-talkie? So there's music. I just muted it, though, because we don't need to. It's cool music, but so it's just pictures. So this has got spirits in it right now, but there's another one I had, and I'll find it, but it went from the front to the back to the side to the side. These are just some of the rooms that are in there. It says these are photos of guests who have visited the Winchester house. They believe they've caught some spirits in it, and we can go slower about it, but look at the size of this. Again, that's not quite the one I want to show you. There's another one. It was quick though, too, just so you guys know, super, super quick. But it showed how big it was. The grounds are really beautiful,
You
actually.
see it from above too. It's wild to see it from above and how stretched out it is, and that there's construction
I
that was
found it. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
no, that's okay.
Go ahead. I'm just going to
Watch.
upload it. Go ahead.
Oh, construction that wasn't finished too, right?
Yeah, that was another one of the facts. Okay, it already pulled it up on me, darn it. Let me see if I can make it bigger. That's a floating player. I don't know if it's going to make it bigger. So let me just stop it for a sec. Stop. Okay, so it's really quick, but you can see, and what it says, I can probably play the audio.
The side, beautiful. The top, amazing. The front, stunning. The back, gorgeous. The side, beautiful. The top, amazing. The front, stunning. The back,
it's kind of quick, but at least you can see like it is enormous. And look at the grounds, how beautiful they are.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think actually till now. Next time I'll have to remember this. Google Earth, we could probably take a really good look at it too. Or next time we're looking, we've got some interesting properties and things that are coming up. One of the ranches, I'll say. So maybe we'll be able to actually pull up a Google Earth to take a look at it. How does that sound?
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be right, Kat. She says, if memory serves me right, the house was on Ripley's, believe it or not, many years ago. Hi, Anita. Welcome. She says, spooky.
It is. I think that's part of the. Do you know when I tap into it, I've always felt sad attached to it, or not necessarily the spooky part.
Well, you know what, though, when we were talking about this earlier, I was saying, even back in the day, she must have been labeled as a real wackadoo. Like, think about it, because there's no house like it. Construction's going on nonstop. This lady that walked around in black, there's not many pictures of her, but when you do see her, she is indeed. That's why we tried to dress with the veils and the black. She didn't have a veil over her face, but any pictures I've seen of her, she was always in black.
Yeah.
Good question.
Mm-hmm. So Bob Burnell is asking, has any paranormal teams credible ever caught any evidence of paranormal activity? So TAPS, so Ghost Hunters, they were there. I don't think I wrote down what year it was. But they also organized paranormal investigation with TAPS West Coast, and it was an after-hours experience with the public. So Haunted Live was in 2007. Ghost Adventures has been there 3 times, and we are going to talk about the last time, which was last year, I think, or was it this year? I don't know. It was I wrote it down, so we'll get it. We'll get to it. That's the one we're going to talk about with the Houdini. And Ghost Brothers. The Ghost Brothers were there as well, too. So Dalen Spratt, Jawan Mass, and Marcus Harvey. So they were there, and they got to do the unfinished. They investigated in the unfinished section.
I have some videos. There's one team, but there's some SLS. Now, we know SLS can be very controversial and not historically always accurate. But there was one I had it downloaded and I thought it might not be appropriate. Plus, it was really hard to see. And I couldn't figure out why they kept talking about these ghosts doing the nasty in one of the Winchester home's bedrooms. But as I pulled the phone up close to my face, I didn't have the sun because I was doing it outside, what they were looking at. So they're in the bedroom and they have an SLS camera in their room. And it very much does look like whatever these figures are doing, they're doing things that they shouldn't have an audience, but it looks like it's spiritual figures showing up on the SLS, and these people are howling because they're an investigation team. So that's not the video, though. I got another one with the SLS, but there also were some characters, ghosts, that have been reported. So I don't know if this is the one with Clyde. I think it is. And you can see it. Do you want me to pull that one up?
Sure.
So many people have reported seeing there's like a tunnel, And I'm just waiting to see if it's going to play. Good, it's not playing. And I'll play the audio on it. But he's known as the Wheelbarrow Man or Clyde, and he was part of the Carpenter team. And at first, when you see it, you're going, maybe. And she'll say, you can never trust things nowadays in this video with AI and what have you. But actually, I have another one if I can find it. I believe she was the girl that caught the photo, because she's talking about the docent. There's pictures of, thank God I labeled most of these. There's pictures of a lot of people have caught things. I could not find an EVP. I'm just looking for the video. Hang on. If not, I have one ready to go. But the one who took the picture that it's believed to be, what's her name? Clyde, the Wheelbarrow Man. I'll use this one. So if you hear her saying, you can't always trust. I've got one with ghost footsteps and growls caught at the Winchester home. They're not a well-known paranormal team. Let's see, what else have I got here? Hang on.
So we do have the video too from the Ghost Adventures, and it was April of 2025. I knew it was relatively
okay.
So we have
it's
that.
A ghost face caught on camera. There it is. This is the one I want. So give me one. Oh, I already have it open. Ding dong. Sorry, guys. Forgive me. Can't walk and talk at the same time this week, it seems. Okay. Oh, now I got two. Why do I have two open? I don't want that one open. Let's get rid of it. Okay. We're going to go to this one and share. I got to get rid of the
messages from my friends.
Okay.
I just love waking up and getting messages from my friends / followers on this app, like Mr. Pablo himself. And these messages contain images that I can't unsee. So let's see the beautiful image that Mr. Pablo sent to me this morning. But hold on, before I do, I am going to share a little backstory. This was taken in the basement at the Winchester mansion. Okay, we already know about Senora Winchester. We already seen the movies, heard the ghost stories, but this was taken in the basement, which also has a lot of activity. So we're going to show you the picture of what this user captured and posted on the Facebook group. I think it's called Supernatural Legends and Ghosts, but here it is. So this is the picture that Tina Berry of the group had submitted. And in the description, she goes in to say that her and her fiance were visiting the mansion the other day, and they were walking through the basement, and they captured something in the distance, kind of underneath the light. You can't unsee it, but I'm going to zoom in for those I know on this app that are going to claim I don't.
Before we zoom in, you know what else I found out? People get married there. There's people that have weddings. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I just thought of it. Sorry. Okay, so she's going to show you now.
Anything. So here is what I zoomed in and saw instantly. It looks like there is a figure there. There is an arm.
Right now.
It looks like it's definitely dressed up. Then someone else in the group lightened up the picture. So this is what it looks like, enhanced with the light.
I wish I could make it.
In the description, Tina also mentioned that she brought this up to the docent, and the docent told.
Can you guys see that to the left of her head? If I make it really big, can you see it, Kerrilynn?
Yeah.
Okay. So now she mentions that you can't trust things nowadays with AI, and she's right. But this has gone viral, this picture, and I believe, I don't know where it is. I've got so many videos and I can find it. I believe I found Tina Berry, and she showed the upload, and she didn't tell much more different from what she's sharing. But I have a feeling, well, we'll talk about it after we do it.
That looks like what a lot of people have claimed to have seen in this area of the basement. I believe this could be the apparition of Clyde or the wheelbarrow ghost. But another thing too that the docent brought up to Tina is that this is not an area that is often open to the public. No one is usually allowed to roam here free. Barely anyone, let alone the workers, come down here. But also another person brought up a really good fact too. This looks like something that a lot of the servants or people back in the day would have worn if they were to have worked inside the mansion. Okay, and here's where I become Switzerland, because this is where my trust issues come in with the internet. Because oftentimes, as much as we want to believe these images, we don't know if these images are manipulated. But based on the shared experiences of the workers and those who visited the mansion and had seen full body apparitions, this is pretty much pretty close to what they claim to have seen in this area and even around the location. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you visited the Winchester Mansion or if you've had an experience. Stay haunted, Pablo.
Yeah, so that's a photo that really went around. I've seen it appear in a lot of things when I was looking for paranormal, evidence of the paranormal. So,
And I believe a number of the teams, ghost investigation teams, also
got stuff.
Yeah.
What did they catch in 2005 with Ghost Adventures? Because they caught something, didn't they? I couldn't find the video clip.
They've been there 3 times. So the first time was season 5, second was season 15, and this last time. So the second time, I think it was like their Halloween special, and they were in 2 different locations at the same time. And it's when Aaron thought that he was being influenced by something negative, because they were doing an investigation at 2 locations to see if those spirits would interact between the 2 locations.
So if we got to leave it up to Miss, she says, when I mentioned that people have had their weddings there, she said shotgun wedding. And then also, Bob, thank you for sharing out.
Agreed.
Okay, so what you're saying, and we have to agree with you, he said, I think you have to be careful when associating TV ghost shows with the real deal. I do believe Taps was real and Portals to Hell seems credible, but except for those, and of course, the new Haunted Discoveries team, the rest seem made for TV entertainment shows, not real ghost hunters with real unedited footage, and we agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's discernment. It is discernment, and we are going to be showing you something from Ghost Adventures. Yeah, and it's a Polaroid film, like a Polaroid camera.
Yeah,
so, which was interesting. It was an interesting segment, and I watched it because it had to do with Houdini's visit there as well too.
Plus, I have to agree with the Polaroid. It's an old-fashioned camera or a Polaroid are a lot less easy to manipulate than something else that we have in the way of technology these days. I do believe that.
Yeah, I love using the Polaroid. Patsy, you and Michelle are on it tonight. Listen, you guys are rifle wedding.
Rifle wedding, shotgun
rolling. Yeah, shotgun wedding. That's so funny.
Yes, I have quite a few videos. Like, this is a team that wasn't known, but I wasn't overly excited about the clip that they uploaded. It's not very long. But I can certainly play it if you'd like. Do you want me to? Okay, we'll play it. Just let me. I didn't download it. Okay, stop, please. All right, let me upload things. I usually download things, but my phone's getting full, and I need I need a day or 2 to reformat the whole thing, and I haven't. So that's why you didn't get them downloaded. I usually do. It's not very long. Let me see if. Well, let me scroll up. No, it will a bit, but so these guys, they say ghost footsteps and growls. They were apparently they're called the Box Bros Horror. I think it's 4 brothers. I had one with 4 brothers, and I think they may be 2. But these guys claim this. It's not very long.
Me and Lee were standing right here, and we heard a growl. Lee asked if there was something here to do it again. It growled. And then we asked.
Did it sound like that?
That's it.
Oh, it just got really cold. Let's go find that the Grand Ballroom.
There was something over here.
So there's not much there. It's a small one. I did get a few things with people capturing things that maybe weren't famous teams. But like some of the stuff, like you really got to watch it. Like there was a lot of still photos taken and things like that. And again, I wasn't looking for famous teams, but it is. And I do have to agree with you, Bob. Even our own episode on Paranormal Survivor. And I'm very grateful we had the opportunity. Michelle DeRoche's in the episode. Didn't know her way back in those days. Didn't get to meet her. it was desperately changed with the reenactments from the interview we did. And we even noticed, because I've only seen it a few times, but they took bits and pieces of our interview and they spliced bits and pieces together. So anything can be done with the magic of TV is my whole point. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, what else would you like me to show? Like I say, I've got pictures.
Kat is just sharing. To me, it sounded like a chair moving on the wood floor. I agree. It did sound like a chair on the wood floor. And
I agree. I'm not saying it's there's like, I got one that says entity caught in mirror on camera. Maybe there's another one, possibly a ghost face, and it's hard to see. And I did read the comments. Most people were impressed, but it's hard to see on this screen. That was the other reason why I didn't include some photos. Like, I don't know what you guys want to see. And there's an SLS one. I don't know if you want to see that.
Yeah, whenever you feel like you would.
Well, like I say, there was a lot, but it's hard to see because this was a picture of some of the rooms. Okay, with 13 stuff in it.
Pat is sharing that their team, their paranormal team, was on that show as well too, and they changed a lot on their segment, which is disheartening.
It is just, and again, I'm trying not to sound ungrateful because with the reenactments, like, it did not, the only thing in our episode that was realistic was the ending, but they showed the girl playing myself as like way over the top, screaming and yelling. I'm not like that. And then they showed the girl playing myself hitting my partner Dell. Like, I've never hit anybody in my life, I swear to God. So they made her look very violent. But again, then you got to understand, they've only got 20 something minutes to tell a story, right? So so hang on, I'm still going through here. Yeah, let's what was this one again? I think this one was, sorry guys, that's what happens when you download too many. No, let me go. I got a lot of stuff on Reddit too from people. There's Houdini we got. Let's see.
Do you have the Ghost Adventures video?
I do. You want me to play that one?
Let's chat about that.
Yes, let's. There was something else I had with Ghost Adventures or Houdini, so I didn't.
And I realize there is a lot of controversy around them, and there's a reason why that I liked that episode, which aired April 2025. So they did a seance with Patty Negri, Christian Day, and they invited Houdini's great nephew, and he participated. So somebody that was related to, and there was a portrait of Houdini that was used. They did it in what they said was a seance room, but folks, when you're looking into it, they say it was the gardener's bedroom. I don't know if it really was. So, I agree, Bob, but I also know the other team that we talked about also, from a personal experience, when I was invited to go to California to do an investigation, know that there was another team that also faked, that is also on TV. So this clip is, I wanted to show you for a reason. So we're just going to set it up.
It's ready. Whenever we're ready, I can play it. Want me to play it?
Yeah, I was going to talk about the trumpet. So his nephew. Do you
want me to show the picture of that? Because you sent me a picture. Or do you want me to do this one first?
Sure, either one. I don't remember the.
I thought you said, please move, dog, please. Now my dog's deciding to join in, guys. Sorry. Yeah, you sent me a picture. I think it was of the trumpet, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I'm sorry. But I grabbed my trumpet.
Oh, is that yours? Okay, that's what it was.
It's
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
So I just wanted to show you that. So this is what a spirit trumpet looks like. It was used during that spiritualism time. You can consider it kind of like an early ITC piece of equipment, right? So it was used in promoting,
me
and it
stop
wasn't
that.
necessarily truthful. There was people that used it as charlatans, right?
I'm going to show it though, because I think it'll give people an idea. Okay. No,
I'm
yeah.
not saying the video. Yes, please show the video. So the video, yes. So the photo I was showing you was my trumpet, but they brought Houdini's trumpet, and Houdini had a trumpet, and he did do a visit to the Winchester Mansion house, and I thought it was a kind of cool segment. And the photo that they took was with a Polaroid photo in succession. And it is weird what they caught in the Polaroid during that seance.
I agree. Okay, so we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it doesn't play a commercial. We'll see.
Doing the seance, we were sitting there, Aaron was taking a bunch of Polaroids.
So you can see that Bill is perfectly still, and so are you. You are perfectly still.
Behind this photo is something that we can't explain. Okay?
What is that?
Oh my gosh.
To me, it looks like a Tesla coil back in the day when it would explode with energy.
What in the
So like it's something exploding
We're still
during
all
this,
sitting there.
and you're still all sitting there.
We're still now.
And so it's like
We're
it's
absolutely
that
still.
the energy of the spirit
Pause it.
communicating.
What is us? I don't know. Yeah, it does look like
I
they're
was like
drawing.
his drawings.
We were still.
Look at this. It's just wow, that's amazing. That's
Oh,
incredible.
It's instant. Look, there's nothing on the back. We didn't scribble on it. It's in the photo. But we're just gonna go through these other photos just to show you that it's not on any photo.
Okay,
This is the science of this.
Right.
Because light carries information. Light is magic. Light is spirit.
Watch this.
These are your shots, ready?
Yeah.
You guys, like you kept still on this one really well.
You felt that peace.
Yeah, when I sit to meditate, it feels the same way.
The same.
Yeah, and when I start every meditation, I acknowledge the people in my family who have passed on.
Mm-hmm.
And man, do I sink like in an elevator.
That's amazing.
Oh,
He's the
wait a
connection.
minute.
Who's out of it?
Watch. Look. Do you see how it's Christian me here, Christian me here? You're right around here. I don't see you here. You're right where that flash of light is.
Right, he's right behind that light.
You're behind that bright
And like,
light.
are you serious?
That bright ball of light is what is connected. See all the things coming off of the light?
Right.
That's the magic.
That's wild.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you see this light right here, this bright light?
Yes.
That is not over here, George?
No.
So he's taking these photos in negative art. Now you can really see. That's crazy, man.
There we go. That was an incredible photo, I thought.
Mm-hmm. And interesting because the great nephew George was calling in Houdini and asking Houdini to come in, and it was on the anniversary, so an emotionally charged date of Houdini's visit to the Winchester Mansion. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting how they did all that. There's extra stuff that I find irritating as well too, and things that I don't necessarily resonate with, but I still found that super interesting. Patty does the same. So she started off that seance that they did in that room using a spiritualist prayer that is from a magazine, and I use the same one.
Oh, do you?
For all of my seances. And then she added her own little bit that she wrote specifically for that. And then they had George doing that meditation and wanting to connect in. And that's what happened when they took the photo.
So let's talk about Harry Houdini's visit then. What happened? Because apparently he did go to the Winchester Mystery Mansion, did he not?
He did, and there's not a lot of reports of what happened during that time period, and then there was some controversy about whether he actually went. So I found on Wild About Houdini website, so wildabouthoudini.com. It was written in 2020. They found a newspaper article written about Fred Faltersack, who was a sleight of hand illusionist and a friend of Houdini. And Houdini was doing a tour Oh my gosh, I forgot to write down the date. He was doing a tour, a spiritual talk, like a spiritual lecture tour, and him and Bess were taken by Fred Faltersack to the house to do the tour. So
Okay.
I forget what year it was though.
That's okay. But the interesting thing, it says it I could be wrong, Houdini's 1924 visit, as noted by the Winchester Mystery House. And it says, and again, Ghost Adventures. So we have to take that with but there is history because I found the Wild About Houdini site as well. It said it focused on debunking spiritualism, not specific artifacts. And they keep talking about this trinket box, but we couldn't find any.
No.
There was a safe, but not a trinket box.
Yeah. And there was no reports of Houdini debunking.
That's what I was going to say.
Being haunted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his whole thing, was to debunk mediums and call out the charlatans. And he wanted it to be real, and he wanted to be able to connect to the other side. So that he didn't publicly debunk it leaves, some room to question whether it really is haunted, right?
Well, what they put in here, because I asked about the trinket box, right, is that the trinket box rumor parallels the other unverified stories like seances or ghostly music playing. I could not find an EVP or recording of that, even with any team out there. I was looking. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I just couldn't find it. And it says, which Wikipedia, and we know that can be edited by pretty well anybody. And it says, I gotta put my glasses on, sorry guys, I just can't see. And Ignafo, is that it? I've never heard of this website. And Ignafo refute due to lack of evidence. Of course, now my glasses are stuck in my hair. It says the lock of hair is real, but not paranormal. Well, because there was rumors of the baby's heart, right? And it says, but the heart claim mirrors sensationalization like those debunked by is it SF Gate? I think it's Science Fiction Gate. It was a show from 2018, which argues Sarah's insanity, in quotations, and supernatural motives were fabricated. Because we couldn't find in our research either that there was an actual diagnosis of a mental illness either, was there?
Right. And I don't believe there was. Like, right, because she had to have some sort of business sense when she was choosing her money, taking care of her money, sending money out, who she was sending out as benefactors, and contributing money to different charities and stuff like that. Like, no one ever said that she was doing anything like that inappropriately.
No, but you know what? When I was reading about no architectural plans, and I thought, what a gifted woman for back in the day, that the house was created off of her drawings. Like, she had to be able to draw pretty clearly, I would think, to be able to make sense too. I live with someone that has built houses for a living and done all kinds of carpentry and stuff. You have to kind of know how things are built or what you would want them to look like, considering back in the day they did not have what we have to build houses nowadays either.
Folks in the chat, did anybody watch that segment or any of the other segments with Ghost Brothers or the TAPS team, or that segment? What did you think of that video clip and the Polaroid? I'd like to know your thoughts and comments or theories.
You know what I found intriguing about it? And I won't tell you, I'll wait till people answer what their thoughts are about it, was the choice of item that showed up in the photo. But then again, now that I think of it, and I'm just hearing this, I don't hear voices, guys. I don't know if it's coming from spirit or not. You would think that Houdini would pick an item so it would be unmistakable if he was making his energetic presence known, is what I'm feeling and hearing. Right? Because I was thinking, why what showed up? What's your thoughts?
You mean the Tesla? Like looking at it like
the
light and connecting it?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Because it would kind of be more unmistakable, wouldn't it? Versus like what else could he have really shown up except maybe some magic things or what have you. But then again, people would be going, fake, fake, it's a fake, it's a fake, right? I just thought it was so unique in what showed up in those Polaroids.
And over top of the nephew and spreading out to each individual person that was at the table.
And it holds more credibility for me. And I will agree again with you, Bob. I have seen some videos where Ghost Adventures, they've been caught faking. I have seen it. But you got to realize they've been around for how many years too, right? And maybe, I'm sure not every time you go paranormal investigating, you get something that's worthy of making an hour-long show, right?
And the experience that I am privy to, there was activity that happened, but the film wasn't being rolled at the time. So they reenacted the experience. So it wasn't necessarily, it was a truthful experience, but not caught in real time, is what people ended up seeing on air.
That counts. And I like what you said here, Bob. That's a good thought. You said you have to wonder if fake spiritualists were taking advantage of
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think they were, especially with the money. People get crazy even nowadays when somebody's got a lot of money, right? And you get close to them. Not everybody, but.
Well, and a lot of the mediums back then that were starting were lower and middle class, like low income. And it was a way to earn money.
You know, I was just thinking as you were talking, and I've often said I wouldn't ever want to be really, really famous. Well, maybe I'd be okay at this day and age, but especially younger, be really, really famous and have a lot of money, because you'd never know if someone wanted to be with you, unless you knew them before, that if they wanted to be with you because of your money or say your fame or what have you, right?
I find her story, again, it's tragic, and that sort of big emotion, heavy grief and tragedy holds that energy there. So, but there's not, in any of the stories and reports, it's not necessarily her husband's energy or coming through, and not even a lot about Sarah coming through. It's just footsteps and sounds and things that could be residual more than interactive.
I agree, because I've never really heard of anything in my research I was doing and looking for clips or photos. There was nothing really that people were saying exactly what you said, interactive. It was just like an image they noticed in one of the photos they took, or, and even the sound. Kat, I think it was you that pointed it out, that it sounded more like a chair than footsteps, and the noise they were attributing to a growl. I don't think I would necessarily say that's a growl even. So the other thing I was thinking too, can you just even imagine, right? You said they grew up as children. They were neighbors. Sounds like they had quite the love affair. So you think, you're set for life in that day and time. You've met the love of your life. You don't have to worry about money. And then you have a beautiful baby. And then after that happens, everything falls away, right? You lose your baby. Your husband dies. I can't even imagine what that must have been like for her.
And there's no reports of her being negative or miserable to her staff or nasty, like none of those things. Like it just feels like she had this tragic love story and
sadness. Look and see, I had something on Reddit. There was a lot of stuff I found on Reddit. This one's going to be hard to see, but I can show it to you if you want. It's a black and white photo from Reddit. because there is quite a bit. Like if you dig, you can find things and take a look at them. And again, as we always say to anybody, regardless if we're talking about paranormal, spiritual, anything, if any of this triggers any curiosity within yourself, go do a deep dive yourself, see what you find. And, if it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. Because we're not telling you what to believe or not believe. It's just, this is what we found. What are your thoughts? And, right? Would you agree, Kerrilynn?
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's hard to see. I think I can make this. I don't know if I can make this picture bigger, but what it says, Winchester Mystery House. I need people to see this. This was taken about 5 minutes after we toured the Witch's Cap. And in brackets, it says, they said the Witch's Cap is better at contacting spirits because of the conical shape. I guess it traps them. And I believe it's just the way one of the rooms is shaped. After we went into the next room down a small hallway, I heard footsteps creeping behind the group. I was in the back of the room, so nobody in the tour was behind me. Hang on. And I'll try and make the picture bigger. I looked to my right because I heard footsteps. Down the hall, I saw a woman in a black dress with long black hair walking down the hallway towards the Witch's Cap. The footsteps stopped as she passed the hallway, and I was frantically looking over to see if she'd pass by again. My tour guide noticed and asked me if I saw something. I immediately just asked if there was another tour behind us. She said she didn't know, but she didn't think so. But not one other person walked by the hallway after her, and the woman in black didn't come back down the hallway, which was the only way to get in and out. This picture, which I'm going to try and make bigger in a second, I took a tour. This is a picture I took on the tour of the house, not edited. It's the tour that takes you through the attic and basement, not the proper house itself. I was taking random pictures to, quote unquote, get them ghosts, not believing I'd capture anything. I was just being obnoxious. The ceilings were very low in the attic, and we had to wear white helmets. That's the first time I'd heard that in all my research. They said, I am in the yellow shirt with the helmet. Everyone was wearing a helmet, and there was only about 10 people on the tour, and they were well ahead of me in the next room. Look, I'm not a super believer, and they put like 70-30 shaman. I think they meant to type shamanic leaning, but FFS, I think people know what that short form is for. This light hitting the window pane, and they believe the Winchester Mystery House is 1000% haunted. So let me go back up and I'll try and make this picture bigger. I had to look at it for a bit. Are you going to let me? Oh, good. They did let me click it. So can you see my cursor, Kerrilynn, if I move it?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the white helmet this gentleman's wearing, and he's in this picture. If you may have to go on Reddit, look at it yourself, but hopefully you can see to the left of him this individual showing up beside them. It looks like I don't know if it's a man or a woman, and almost looks like some energy around what they're wearing. I don't know if it's for real or not. It could have been faked, but it certainly was intriguing. Are you able to see this individual?
I don't think it's fake, but I would want to know what's on the other side. So what the glass is reflecting at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm. So I found this story because I was looking for ones from regular people going through. Oh, you were going to say something else. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I'm just noticing. Kat, thank you so much for being here. She's just saying a wonderful show as always, ladies. I have to jet. Much love to everyone. Take care of each other.
Thank you for being here.
But it's Paranormal Heart podcast on Tuesday, folks.
Yes. So it's an interesting picture, and it's not the usuals because I seem to keep coming across the same pictures or video, and this happened to show up in Reddit, and I thought,
that's an interesting photo for sure.
That's and I'd have questions. Obviously, I'd have a lot of questions too. I'd want to know what is behind the window. There's a lot of things I'd want to know, but and I didn't see the figure at first. I had to kind of blow it up to take a look at it. So it certainly Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can see it right away.
Mm-hmm. So there were people that, like, because it is reported that people have heard unusual sounds, unusual footsteps. What did you come across? Did you come across people reporting that as well?
Yeah, visions of seeing apparitions,
Mhm.
sounds,
Mhm.
EVPs, knocks.
And it does feel almost more residual, doesn't it?
Oh, for me, it does, but I've not been in the space to
No,
find
but
it.
just picking up what you can from like the pictures or the clips. Some people, do you want to explain to maybe some people listening who don't know what residual means?
Right. So an imprint, an energy imprint that we may feel, and especially on significantly charged, emotionally charged dates or times of the day or month or year, even yearly. So not necessarily intelligent, but and intelligent hauntings too can be that they're popping in, not necessarily that they are earthbound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for people that were wondering, I don't know, do you want me to get to our story or is there
No,
something?
I was just going to suggest, that we do our listener submission.
Do.
We're on the same wavelength. So good.
So as always, we if we get the stories, we love to read them. Oh, I'm losing my crown. They don't have to relate to the topic we're talking about, guys. But if you have stories of the strange or the unusual, you want to tell them exactly how to send them in and everything while I get ready, Kerrilynn?
Sure. So we would love to hear your stories of the unexplainable, high strangeness, paranormal, or ghosty stories. If it's happened to you, a family member, you do not have to, give out your name. If you're not wanting us to share your name, we can share anonymously, but we would love to be able to share your story. And you can send your story or stories plural if you have more than one to kerrilynnsporch at gmail.com. So KERRILYNNS porch, PORCH at gmail.com. So we would love to have your supernatural story and be able to share it with our listeners.
Sure would. Okay, so we got a couple short stories. I'm okay to say the name?
Correct.
Okay, by our own Heidi Gall. And she sent these in. The first one is The Joker at the Top of the Stairs, Ottawa, Kansas. I always laugh when you see Ottawa in the States because that's the capital of Canada. There's Ontario, California. We live in the province of Ontario. Anyways, this is from Ottawa, Kansas, 2005. We had moved into a house in Ottawa, Kansas, 2 blocks from the Marais de Seine, or looks like Seine, river. I'm probably not saying it the way you would as locals, but which had flooded the entire town in the early 50s, repositioning most houses in the neighborhood. The house since day one had a slightly off but unique vibe. It was old and had character, so I brushed any uncomfortable feels off. Within the first week, we had a tornado warning and was forced to go into the creepy basement that no one wanted to open the door that had many locks and even a piece of 2x4 that went across the door into slots. When we reached the bottom of the stairs into a very small room with a dirt floor, there was only a single old-style kitchen chair down there. Thankfully, in less than an hour, we got all clear from the storm. Second red flag was our Persian kitty, Toby, refused to walk on the floors and would avoid it if at all possible. 2 rooms in that house. The house was mostly original. Old heavy windows and stairs to the upper level were steep, narrow, and at the top, 1 square to go into one of the bedrooms. One night I was home alone and was upset or depressed about something, and as I started up the dark, narrow stairs and could see my girls' bedroom and their bunk beds, I saw what I thought looked like a joker or jester from a King's Court, and in brackets, Alice in Wonderland type, with bells on his hat. This was the first time I can recall I saw something in color and so vivid, and he was laughing at me. I assumed because I was upset and depressed, I stopped and looked at him and told him to shut the bleep up, turned and walked into my room. That was the first time I can think of I acknowledged and confronted something uncomfortable, and it was empowering as you know what. Do you want to read one of these? I feel bad reading all three. Are you okay with that? Or you want?
I don't have it.
Okay. I just thought of that now. I should have asked you before you went live. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. The second one says rushed, but it's spelled RUSHHHHHED. And it's an Arapahoe Ridge, Boulder County, 2018. As I was walking a few blocks home from the store one night, as I often did, enjoying the night skies, peaceful, quiet, and hoping to chat with an owl or fox, suddenly out of nowhere, I felt a rush of energy. Not only way I can explain it, because I didn't see or hear anything. Instantly, I felt like everything was in slow motion, even like time stopped. I couldn't see or hear right. Almost like I was in a tunnel underwater. And I believe I was completely out, because the next thing I know, I'm standing at the stop sign with my 2 shopping bags, coherent and felt fine. I looked back and had walked past 2 houses down the sidewalk. It almost sounds like missing time in that one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The last one, 1950s children's TV show on at 1 a.m., My Dad's Home, 2021. Around 2020, myself, my daughter, and infant granddaughter stayed with my dad. Our rooms off down a hallway, upstairs, and connected by a dressing and bathroom. I think dressing room, it might have said dressing room and bathroom. One night it was late. Everyone was in bed asleep. So I headed to bed myself. Soon as I got comfy, I looked over at the dresser and saw that the baby monitor was left on. If the baby woke, I would hear crying in surround sound. So I jumped up and walked over to the dresser next to my bedroom door and shut off the monitor. As I turned to get back in bed, I heard what sounded like music played on a 1950s children TV show coming from downstairs. I stepped over the door threshold into the hallway, and then I heard the music and some talking. I immediately turned around, ran through my room, dressing room, then my daughter's room, and tried waking her up, then ran back to my room to see if I could still hear it. I could, so I ran back into her room, and finally she woke up. We both went back into my room. By the time we got close to my door, we could both hear it. So we decided to go down the hallway to see if there was a TV on or some explanation. We got to the stairs, looked over, and we didn't see not one light on, but could still hear the music and guy faintly talking, and in brackets, kids show, quote unquote, scripted, giddy talking with the end of the brackets. We turned around, went back in our rooms, locked the doors, and went to sleep. The next day, I told my dad what happened, if he knew or had heard anything. I saw and felt his uneasiness and somewhat puzzled, and she put in brackets again, excuse me, he used to be very uncomfortable with anything high strangeness. Now he's just uncomfortable, and he's deaf in one ear. But I asked anyway, end of the bracket. He went around throughout the day, checking here and there, still with that uneasy vibe. By evening, he said he had checked all radios, TVs, anything that could have or would have sounded like that, and he found nothing. Then he said sometimes he hears things at night, but he just flips over on his good ear, so he can't hear them anymore. We all laughed, but looked at each other and we all knew it was odd. That is weird.
That's a pretty odd one. And it doesn't say if the house is like a duplex that's attached to another house where something may be coming from like another space, but that one gave me goosebumps. And I love how her dad flips over to, some good ear.
The good ear.
Up. So funny.
The missing time one resonated especially with me because I have literally blinked and an hour and a half was gone. I was miles away from where I was supposed to be. I didn't even know how I got cell service, didn't know where I was. It's crazy when that happens.
Yeah, I have missing time while driving too.
Wow. Maybe one night we're going to just have to tell some of our spooky stories. We've planned out the last 2 months, and then with Harry Houdini, you're fascinated by him. I have been fascinated by him since I was a little kid. So if you guys would like to maybe see us do a show on him or someone else, let us know, right?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. Are we on our outro?
I think we are. Yes. Do you want me to do it, or you want to do it? I've been talking so much.
I got her covered.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. People that are new to us, people that have been following us for a while. We appreciate all of you, and we are so grateful. You guys help make the show what it is, and we love the people that show up in the chat. Please stay tuned. Michelle Desrochers is up next with The Outer Realm. And we want to say a thank you to Joe Montaldo, our network owner, Michelle, our station network manager. Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Patsy. Thank you for being here. And next week, we are going to be doing our full moon show. It'll be a few days after. A few days. 3 days.
Is it before? Because I think it's on the 6th or 7th, right?
Yeah. The full moon is on the 7th, and the show will be on the 4th. So we are going to do a full moon show about werewolves, folks. Werewolves.
We've done dogmen, but we were looking for full moon because we've promised you, because this is the beneath the full moon. Around the full moon time, we're going to do something moon related. So we're going to dig deep into werewolves.
I love everything about werewolves. So yes, werewolf movies, werewolf, just all of it. So, and we'd love to hear yours. What's your favorite werewolf story, movie?
Yes.
What's got going on? Please send it to us and let us know. We would love to hear from you guys. kerrilynnsporch@gmail.com. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. You have been listening to Beneath the Hollow Moon with Kerrilynn Shellhorn and Lorilei Potvin. Thank you for joining us. And until next week, step back into the shadows, and whatever you do, don't follow
the whispers. Who you got coming on tomorrow night? You want to tell them on Spirit Switchboard?
Spirit Switchboard tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. Folks, my mom is going to be joining me. My mother is going to be coming on the show. Please come hang out in the chat and help my mom feel welcomed and calm. She's a little nervous. She is more than a little nervous. She is a whole lot nervous. And our special guest is Azria Beckham, and Azria Beckham is going to be coming on to discuss generational frequencies connected to our cosmic lineage. And it's the first part of a 3-part series. So the following week, so next week, my sister and my niece will be coming on to discuss their cosmic lineage. And our third part will be talking about, what do you do with it now? When you tap into it and you hear this, what do you do? How do you integrate it? How do you process it? What do you do with that information? So it's a 3-part series. Part 1 is tomorrow, and my mama is going to be.
I'm going to be in the chat, and As is coming back on my show. I think we booked it in December. And she's going to do my lineage because we didn't have enough time with stuff going on in the summer. So it's going to be fun. You guys next week.
Fascinating.
On Monday, Marcia Tekau. She's been on before. You guys love her. I believe she lives in Norway. She's a spiritual teacher. She just has so much wisdom and loving, positive energy. And I love when I have her on. You guys love her too. So we will see you. Have a safe, long weekend if you're celebrating.
Yeah, take care, everyone.
Love ya. See you next week and tomorrow.